Hello, everyone. Welcome to Infinite Chat. This is the Psychic Hour, and I'm Sandy Anastasi. It's wonderful to have you back. I'm addressing that to all of the following that has been accumulating for this show over the last few months. And I'm glad to be back too, because 2 weeks ago, it turned out that I was out in the middle of the ocean with my husband on a cruise, and that I had an absolutely wonderful time. So I'll tell you about that a little bit later. It was very special. It was his birthday celebration. Meanwhile, let me tell you a little bit about today's show and get you caught up on some of the aspects that are going on astrologically. First off, today I've got a very special guest that's going to be coming on a little bit later. Her name is Kala Ambrose, and many of you have heard of her, have been following her, have listened to her on radio, TV, have read her blog, read her books. And so we're just going to have a delightful time talking to Kala and finding out all about how she does all of this stuff, and also doing some wonderful readings. I'm inviting everyone who's watching the show today to enjoy the discussion between Kala and myself. And those of you who are members of Infinite Quest, you are welcome to either call in or send your emails in. And to the best of my ability and Kala's ability, we'll be addressing those questions. Also, we want to hear your opinions and your ideas. So this show, my show, is about anything and everything in the field of metaphysics. And I want to hear your ideas. I want to hear your questions. And if you have input on any of the things that Kala and I are discussing, I want to hear them. So does Kala. So, quick update astrologically. We have an eclipse, very important, that's going to be coming on November 22nd, November 25th, 3 days is important, November 25th, and that eclipse is going to be at 2 degrees of Sagittarius. So, if you are a Sagittarian, a Gemini, a Virgo, a Pisces, or if you have a sun, moon, ascendant, or any other planet in one of those signs, and incidentally, you can get your chart printed out right here on Infinite Quest. So no excuses. Everyone can go and check and find out where your planets are. If you have planets in any of those mutable signs, this eclipse is going to affect you very strongly. I always ask people, my clients, my followers on these shows, to keep a diary from 2 weeks before the eclipse until 2 weeks after the last eclipse. Now, this eclipse pattern this time has 2 eclipses associated with it. There will be a following eclipse at 18 degrees of Gemini, and that'll be on December 10th. And so you'll want to keep your eclipse really for the entire month of starting from 2 weeks ago all the way up until the end of December. So it's a 6-week period. That diary is going to give you insight into all the things that are going to be coming up in your life over the next 6 months. It's also going to give you a very good ability to judge how to handle these things and to make healthier decisions. So eclipse diaries are very important. It can help you to make better choices and really enjoy your life a lot more, because you don't go into that future totally blind. It's your opportunity to be your own future-oriented psychic. Now, also, we have Neptune that just went direct, and that happened a few days ago. That was on the 3rd, I think. Oh, I have it written down somewhere. I'm not seeing it right now. But it did just go direct, and it is heading towards Pisces. So all of the things that Neptune was doing for this summer and early fall, having us looking back into the past, is done. It's now time to direct your energies towards the future. And here's a word of advice. Folks, anything that you put your emotion into continues. Emotion is the power, it's the energy that powers our thought, that creates our world. And so if you are putting a lot of your energy into things that cause hurt and harm to you or to members of your family or friends, or that you just don't feel happy about, well, by putting that emotional energy there, you're going to be continuing things into your future that you might want to leave behind. Right now, as Neptune has just changed directions and is moving from the previous sign of Pisces into, or Aquarius rather, into its new sign of Pisces, this is the time that you have the opportunity to change your emotional patterning and project positive emotions into those good things you want to bring into your life. So that updates you on the astrological information. We already have a caller, so I guess you folks are kind of rushing me into things, which is fine because we have so much to do today. So without further ado, let me ask Kayla, are you on the line? Are you with us?
Hi, Sandy, I'm here.
Hey, Kayla, it is lovely to have you with us again today. Um, I have so much to talk to you about. I almost don't know where to begin. I was on your website last night, exploringyourspirit.com, and it's just an amazing place. I want to direct all of our viewers to go there and check it out. Kayla has a radio show of her own. She has a blog. She has a television show. She also is an Infinite Chat contributor, and I think you have a show here on Infinite Chat, don't you, Kayla?
Yes, about the aura, exploring the aura.
And so, folks, please tune into that and watch. When's your next tuning into your aura show, Kayla?
I think it's going to be late December.
Okay, so don't forget, folks, to look for that on Infinite Quest and make sure you come back to see that. I want to show you something that I am absolutely thrilled to have. I got this in the mail, Kayla, from somebody who is really a wonderful lady. Do you see it, folks? This is Kayla's most recent book. It just came out. And let me tell you, I was lucky enough to get a preview of the Awakened Aura because Kayla asked me a while back if I would write a little blurb on it. And of course, I got the manuscript when it was in the rough. And let me tell you, I have been a teacher in this field for over 30 years. And I have also been teaching and discussing the aura for all that time. And Kayla, I have not ever, in all of my studies and in all of my own work, seen a book that can compare to your book, The Awakened Aura. It is absolutely amazing. So thank you. And can you tell the audience just a little bit about what they'll find when they read that?
Thank you, Sandy. That means the world to me coming from you. That's such high praise. I really appreciate that. The reason I wrote the book is because I've seen auras since I was a little girl, since I didn't know they weren't any different than what anyone else was seeing. But the reason why I decided to write an aura book is I knew there were a lot of books out there about the general parts of the aura, colors, and what they mean. But in the past decade, I've been watching our aura bodies evolving, seeing a grid, a crystalline grid around the auric field that's forming and connecting and making light bodies around our auric bodies. And it touched me so much to see what's happening in each person, to see how a real evolution is going on around us, that I had to write about that and share and show what I see in it and how we can work with it as we're evolving into what I call superpowered light beings.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. And Kayla, the way we have this set up, I can't see your aura right now, but oh, I so wish I could. When you were talking about that, I could just feel the crackling energy around you. Um, Folks, you are able to see both Kayla and I while we're talking. So look at our auras. Kayla, you can see an aura on a video screen, can't you?
Yes, and that's how I do it on John Edwards Infinite Quest, the chat there. We go on Skype and people come on video and I read their auric fields for them over for members of Infinite Quest and say what I see in their auras, not just in the physical field, but in the mental field, the emotional field, the spiritual field. I see colors, shapes, guides sometimes come in. Whatever wants to come in and is around the person, that's what I read for them.
So once again, let me hold this book up here. It's called The Awakened Aura, and it's by Kala Ambrose. And I do hope that everyone who is watching this show today goes out and gets the book. And that's not just because I really like to promote books, it's because I honestly think that if you want to know more about energy and auras, that's probably one of the best tools that you will ever lay your hands on. I know it's got a prominent place right now in my own library. And Kayla, you also wrote another book, and I know you've written a lot of them, so I hate to be picky about this and discriminating, but there's another book of yours that I really want to recommend to our audience. I don't have a copy with me right now. Perhaps you can hold one of your own up, and that's called 9 Life-Altering Lessons. And it's a smaller book. It's a quicker read. But I have, from my perspective, it's a book that can change people's lives just by reading it. So again, it's one of the things that I really hope that our audience is going to take a look at. And Kayla's books are available right here on infinitequest.com. They're available on exploreyourspirit.com. They're also available on Amazon. And where else, Kayla?
Everywhere, bookstores, online, whatever works for you. They're on Kindle, they're on Nook. I love to support indie bookstores, so they're in as many of those as I can reach as well. And Nine Life Altering Lessons was my very first book, and it's still my love. That's my passion as a wisdom school teacher and
Yep.
sharing those ancient mystery school lessons. And those 9 lessons are the first lesson that back in the day in ancient Egypt and in ancient Greece, when you entered one of those temples to study, those were the first 9 lessons and questions that you had to ask yourself, including who am I and why am I here, and discovering that information deep within our souls. And I know, Sandy, you've read the book, and on the first page there I say, don't listen to a word I say. And I know that's funny for a teacher to say that, but I truly believe that I'm just a guide. I'm here to help people know what they already know, and I'm just a guide to remind them that the information is there in their souls, and I just serve to help awaken that for that wisdom that we all have deep within us.
I can't agree with you more, Kayla. It's amazing. And, you and I have talked a lot about how our own journeys cross and travel in the same directions. And so many of the things that you say, I feel like I could almost be saying them myself, and I'm sure it happens vice versa. Earlier, just before we started the show, I even said to you, I bet we probably share guides, although it's not like I've seen your guides. But let me share something about my guides. Way back when I was first developing all of my insights and beginning to teach the classes that I teach, which incidentally have a very similar base to the things that you teach, I was not able to get any names for my guides, although I could see them very clearly. And I'd be in my dreams, and I'd be out on the astral. We probably attended some of those classes together, girl. I'd be out on the astral, and I'd be sitting in this giant classroom, with high school type desks, and I'd be seeing these people who I saw as teachers, not my guides. I later found out they were my guides, up on the stage. And I recognized them later on when I discovered them. I stumbled over them, their pictures or whatever in books, and realized that my guides, most of my guides are world teachers. Mm-hmm. And do I have any of my own individual guides? Well, sure. I have a couple of people who were good friends before they passed, or relatives that hung around to be nice and pat me on the back and say, okay, you're doing a good job, kid. But the guides that gave me the directions for the teaching and the work that I do, I share with people like you. And I'm not going to go throwing names around. I'm sure you know who they are, but they are world teachers. And they get the word out through folks like me, like you, like John Edward, like Alan Oken, and so many other people. I think this is why so many of us are saying the same thing, giving the same message, but from very different points of view, so that everyone who's reading and learning and approaching the material can manage to hear it in a way that it makes sense to them. Isn't that amazing how that information just flows in and moves all over the whole planet? It's very exciting. So I'm grateful, very grateful to have you on here today. You're not only someone that I see as a like mind, like spirit, moving down the same path, but I also see you as being definitely one of our world teachers on our planet today. So I think our folks who are listening are very lucky to be able to have you here. Kayla, are you ready to take a reading? We have a caller from Sherry from Canada, who's very patiently waiting to speak with you.
Sure.
Are you ready?